You are listening to King's Court Podcast.
All right. Hello, everyone. Another episode of the King's Court Podcast. In this corner, we have me, the King. And in the other corner, we have...
You have Axel. And today I tried to be a professional chef, but accidentally burned my food. And it tasted hella bad.
Generally, burnt food not taste...
Yeah, it was like hella black and everything. So like... but I had to eat it because I don't have anything else in the fridge.
Really? When do you do groceries, dog?
When everything's empty?
Wrong answer.
No.
Let's see, when the Zoomer for learns to adult, you know? And today we have a very special guest. One that we've done a deck list together. That's hype. Adds to our UK representation. Hold on, I'm trying to think. You were
Well, come on,
judging.
Brendan. You got to give me a better intro than this.
Judging.
Yeah, that's like...
No, hold on. Judging at 2024 Worlds, I believe. Yeah.
This is yes.
Yeah.
If you watch
Cool.
that stream back, you can see my lovely fingernails on the final table. It was complimented in chat twice. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, person who wholeheartedly believes in 45 is right and really fucked up my mulch deck because of it. I was not happy. That's what happens when you complain about your intro. We got CobraBubbles in the...
Hey, what's good? Yeah, it's me, CobraBubbles. You can call me Cobra or Bubbles or SE15 if you're in the know. We can talk about that later. Yes, I actually very recently played an oversized Toshiko deck for the first time. I
Finally.
decided it's finally time.
Was it like the mulch version or like an actually full
No,
version?
it's just reg. We've got propellers, we've got rising tides, we've got all the things that draw your deck. It turns out when Bankai was legal, 45 Hosh was always correct.
No,
because Bankai was the best card
no,
in your
no,
deck,
no,
and
no,
you
no.
wanted to start with it. And when Dolls was legal, 45 Hosh was always correct because Dolls was the best card in your deck and you needed to draw it. Now that they've banned both of them, you're allowed to go over because all the cards in your deck, they're all boring. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, but now you don't have the piles of like extremely broken cards that you used to have.
You have piles of extremely decent, okay cards. Which is
Yeah, but
enough
that's not good enough.
for current standard.
No.
I love how my Rising Tide triple propeller thing is just like caught on. Like, I didn't know it caught on that much through EA Sports, and people just kind of play it for fun.
Specifically in EA
Yeah.
Sports.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
not Yeti stole it from you.
yeah, I know. We were playing together, and it was like, oh yeah, I want to do that. And I'm like, I love how like I just give decks to EA Sports, and actually like
Yeah, dog. I won me a playmat yesterday. I came fourth at the first district in the country.
yes, let's go. Damn, I'd be out here helping people win playmats. Let's go. Yeah, shout out
That's
to
right.
Propeller Busto card. Love
That's
you.
good.
You're in the wrong.
Yeah, print it in orange and we might be talking.
We'd love you
This is a
more.
terrible take. All the best. We all know that the best icebreakers are the ones that break.
I
Mm,
thought the best
Yogg,
ones are the ones that
for
just
example.
break the game, period.
throw your Faust or some shit.
Well,
Yeah, like our girl Audrey, best girl.
Audrey doesn't
You
break
see
the
the shit they're
game.
doing with Faust in Eternal right now? That shit's crazy.
They're just
I
comboing
know!
off turn 3, winning the games because people haven't
Yeah.
still figured out the counter tech.
I mean, it's no worm. You know, as combo Wu decks designed by Wow Warlock go, it's like the second best of all time, which is pretty cool.
It's funny.
No, the Infinite Creds is a bit better than this, but
All right, Cobra. It's time for you to give us a little history lesson.
I would love to.
When did you start playing Netrunner? Why? How did it all begin?
Well, okay, those are two different questions. How did it all begin? I'd have to go back before I started playing Netrunner.
Yes.
And talk about, if you can believe it, other card game.
no.
And there's a particular one in mind I have that I guarantee that none of your previous guests have played and that maybe none of your listeners have ever heard of, which was actually the first card game that I played in tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this game was called Sopio. This goes, so in about 2010, I was a teen in 2010 watching YouTube, and this was when vlogging had recently become a thing. People were vlogging. Dave Frank was out there. The Vlog Brothers had just started. Those who know. And there was a UK vlogger who has since been majorly cancelled. So I will decline to mention his name. But he designed a
Why
card
can't we
game
mention his name?
They're cancelled.
You don't need to give him the airtime. People can look
exactly.
up Sopio if they want to.
But like for
And
me, I need to know who's bad, like who to stay away from.
well, I don't know if he even still makes stuff anymore, but anyway, him and his cousin designed themselves a little card game, basically, which was kind of Uno style. Like you played it with 4 people around a table, usually four, well, any number really. You have one deck in the middle. On your turn, you draw a card and you play a card, and if you get to 1,000 points, you win. It was extremely basic, straightforward,
Oh.
but it was all the rage in the common room at my high school when I was about 16, 17, because we were all watching these YouTubers and then buying all their merch and, you know, generally fangirling. Yeah, but they put on some tournaments for this game. So I went to a tournament with my friend and I think I came like third or fourth or something. I made the final table in this completely random game. It's entirely like, how good is your opening hand? Did you draw the like one of the 3 busted cards in the shared deck?
Oh, it's a shared
job
deck?
you win. Yeah.
I don't even like build your own
it's
stuff.
It's not a real card game. And it didn't get any kind of wide release or whatever. But it was the start, you know. It was like, oh damn, this is kind of fun. People can go to places and meet strangers and play cards in a room with them and have a good laugh. Later on, I discovered that you didn't have to have a kind of worrying parasocial YouTube relationship underlining as that game did have. So a couple of years later, one of the friends who I was playing that game with, who I went to school with, was reading Game of Thrones, and we went to London Comic Con together, or as it was then known, the MCM Expo, and somebody was demoing the Game of Thrones living card game, first edition, and so we took a demo of it, and he liked it, so I bought it for him for his birthday that year, and that was the real seed. I love Netrunner. It's a much better game than pretty much every game I've ever played, as most people say. Probably my favorite game of all time, but Game of Thrones has a very special place in my heart. It's the first game that really properly got me. It was like I was obsessed with that game. And me and that friend and a couple of others spent like a year slowly picking up chapter packs. At that point, there were already like 8 cycles of packs. Sorry, they were called chapter packs in Game of Thrones instead of data packs. And we were slowly picking up packs and, you know, having a kind of kitchen table meta, not to steal a brand from a different podcast or channel even. And it was fun. And then about a year after that, I went to a game store and met some other people who played the game. Started going to Thrones tournaments. My first Thrones tournament I went to, there were 14 people playing. There were playmats for the top 8. 4 people in attendance already had that playmat because they way overprinted that prize kit. So so 9th through 12th ended up, and the 14th place got a pity playmat from the TO. So everyone got playmats in the field except for me because I came exactly 13th.
That hurts.
My Dothraki. But anyway, I made a lot of great friends playing that game. Friends who I'm still in touch with. I still go to a castle in Germany every year to play Thrones with people. At some point, they rebooted it into the 2nd edition, which is bad because it filed off all the stupid shit and made it into like an actually clean, well-designed game, which is like, who wants that? No good. But yeah, I had a little career as a Game of Thrones blogger for a while. Blogs on Card Game DB. Were either of you ever on Card Game DB? This is probably before your time.
No?
Do you know Card Game DB?
I do not know Card Game DB, but
Is it like Netrunner DB, but like for other card games?
Sort of. So Card Game DB was...
I was going to say, I don't think it's because it's before my time.
Yes. So Card Game DB was the like fan site for LCG. So it was the place where you could look up cards and build decks for the Call of Cthulhu LCG, Thrones, the Star Wars LCG, and then all the other ones that included. So before Netrunner DB was made, it was like one of the deck builders that were around. And there was a forum. There were forums on there that were quite active for quite a long time. I made some great friends on the Card Game DB forums, people I still know. In various parts of the country, which is very fun. There's some great stories from that forum. The legendary "This Is From Him" story about the cheating that happened in the Warhammer 40k Conquest US Nationals, I think it was, one year, where somebody made a sock puppet account to try and defend the accusations that they cheated, and then forgot to switch accounts, so just exposed themselves horrendously. Really good story. But anyway, the Card Game DB forums, great place to be. Eventually, FFG actually acquired Card Game DB. And we were all like, oh, this is cool. They're going to actually put some features in this. And then they did fucking nothing with it at all. Yeah. But by that time, Netrunner DB existed and JNet existed. And then all the other LCGs started copying that infrastructure because unsurprisingly, the Netrunner people were the people who could make actually good websites. So they started. So Thrones DB, which is the Game of Thrones ripoff of Netrunner, was made for various games. But I used to blog on when I was a student playing the Game of Thrones card game, traveling around the place. I wrote a 3-part blog about the first time I went to the European Championship, which was I wrote 10,000 words or something about those, and then it got read by But then years later, I went back to it and saw that the viewer numbers were like six figures. It was like 200, 300,000 people who'd the blog. I was like, what the hell? And it turned out CardGameDB had been kind of lapsed for a while by then, and it was just getting crawled by bots, but it was putting my reader numbers up, so I could claim to have my blogs being read. And I did that. So it was a good time.
How active was the Thrones game? Like, how many people were in the European Championships and stuff?
So the big tournament was called the tourney at Starleck, Castle Starleck, which is a castle in Germany, which was big enough that they had to stop playing it in the castle and start playing the main event in the town hall down in the little absurdly picturesque German town, the hill from the. But that event at its biggest was about 300, but most years it was more in the 200 range, and that was by far the biggest Thrones tournament. Worlds didn't get close. Thrones was like bigger in Europe than in the States. In a lot of ways. So yeah, it was probably the second biggest LCG after Netrunner, for a fair amount of it, and it lived. The second edition of the game lived slightly longer than Netrunner. They canned it right at the start of 2020, just before lockdowns happened, and there's a fan-run version of the second edition. My love is the first edition of the game, so I just play that with anyone I can persuade to play with me. I've been teaching some of the Netrunner folks in Norwich, where I live, to play first edition Thrones, which is teaching someone a game from 2008 when they have slightly more modern game design principles. It's very funny. There's a lot of bits where they're like, okay, how does this work? And I say, well, this mostly works like this, except in this case, and also this card's errated. They decided at some point that they needed to try and balance this thing, so they did this, and it's just all. But it's good. I do love card game history. That's if I went on Mastermind, that would be my specialist subject: the Fantasy Flight Living card games from 2008 to 2020.
Why?
Yeah, but in amongst all that, I learned Netrunner from a lovely old friend of mine called Tagore, Tom D. Idiot. People may know him from Stim Slack back in the day, I met playing Thrones. But the first time we hosted a Game of Thrones card game tournament in Norwich, he and I both missed the cut. So while we were waiting for the rest of it to finish, he taught me Netrunner, and I played Andromeda in Wayland, and was like, yeah, I see why people like this game. It seems pretty good. And so I was going to the Norwich. I didn't own any of the cards for like ages and ages. I was proxying before it was cool. Or borrowing cards from people if there were ever tournaments on. But I only went to local tournaments pretty much. I think I went to London like twice for Netrunner tournaments, which is not very far. It's like 2 hours on the train. And I never went further than that because all my travel tournament time was spent on Thrones. I was around Europe playing Thrones in those years. So I was a bit of a less of a serious Netrunner player, but really loved it. Like, it was clear to me that mechanically it was a superior to basically everything. Really brilliant fun. I played a lot of Leela and Blue Sun. It was right around, I think Honor and Profit was just about to come out when I learned the game, which is the second FFG expansion, as they called them. And so I was playing through the third and fourth cycles, which those sets were really, really good fun. That's kind of when FFG really hit their stride, I think, in designing. And then the Mumbad Winter, that people have told you about on the podcast before.
I have heard, yeah.
Into the sort of more high power stuff when sixth cycle and onwards was coming out. But yeah, I played a lot of Leela, a lot of Blue Sun, and I basically I played some Nazir. Once I discovered Leela and the drug of playing Fun Red Crim, I more or less just played Leela constantly. When she was bad, I just did Leela Patel. Shout outs. Yeah, that's about how I got into it. And then, as we all know, the cancellation in 2018, very sad. It was like, I remember it very well because after, where I lived, it was the same as in a lot of places. People weren't really joining the game from like Mumbad onwards because the card pool had kind of got too big. LCGs kind of get bloat after a while where you're in anymore. Yes, each pack is only, but it's going to cost you $1,000 to buy all the packs once there are like 5 cycles out.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, so we hadn't really been growing really at all. But then after they did the rotation and the revised core, it was end of 2017, I think, people started coming back. And I remember a night in the pub here where we played in 2018 where 2 new players turned up. One of them was a local Magic player, I think, and somebody else from the local board game group. Two new players turned up, got taught the game. It's really exciting. We hadn't had new players in ages, and I walked home thinking, oh man, this is great. We've got new players. This is going to be really fun. We're going to revive the local scene a bit more. That's going to be great. And then woke up the next morning and the game had been cancelled, literally the next morning.
Oh, no.
So that was pretty brutal. That was a knife. And then, and that coincided with, really tragically, as people may know, Kira Maxey, a friend of mine and local Netrunner player in Norwich, passed away a couple of months after that, locally, which was a shock. Between that and the game getting cancelled, a couple of the guys from Norwich went to the Last Worlds to go. But then after that, the local interests, the group sort of splintered a bit, and the local interest died out, which was really tough. But I was playing Thrones, so I moved it back, playing a lot more of that. Would catch up with Netrunner people when I could. And then, as we all know, everything changed in 2020, and then in 2021, I was spending a lot of time sitting in my flat playing Marvel Champions by myself, just to get the escape the withdrawal of not being able to touch cardboard. A lot of solo champions. And then one of the old local players posted on Facebook about System Gateway coming up. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go and look at what this Nisayas, they were then called, are doing. And read some of the blogs and really liked the sound of it. Bought Gateway and got back in playing online at that time. And then eventually, as the UK scene came back up, I was in person. So that's kind of the whole story up until 21, 22, and then I was going to tournaments, and UK scene was building up. And the story of EA Sports. You've had enough of us on this podcast, which starts in 2023. So that's most of it, really.
Very good. See, here this is interesting because now that the podcast has been going on for a while, the guests all know now about the history portion, and they just rip it. Like, I don't have to prompt. I don't have to. It's wild. They just
Everybody prepares their intro speech.
Exactly.
My favorite thing to talk about is card games, and my second favorite thing to talk about is myself. So you've given me the perfect platform, to be honest. This is ideal for me.
Very good. Favorite card of all time?
Ooh, that's a big one. It's probably Leela Patel, I think. It's close, though. There are a few specifics. We were actually talking about this in the EA Sports server today. Somebody was saying they'd been getting... There's a thing going around in Magic Space at the moment. People are naming their top 4 favorite cards for some reason. And so people were asking about that. What's your top 4? And I struggled, but I think... Rushed. Yeah. Oh, is that what it's supposed to be? Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, I have 3, I think, that are more or less locked in for me. One of them is Leela Patel, as I mentioned, the ID that really made me fall in love with the game. One of them is Orb, just because it's just right up my street, doing that kind of silly nonsense and lots of searching and lots of skill expression. The different variety of objects has been so fun. I love that. Love the idea. I think it's such a great thing to have in the game. It's so broken but so balanced somehow. It's just and then the third one would be, I guess it would probably be In the Groove. It could be any of 5 cards in the 5-card combo that Warlock and I took to the Eternal event, or the team event, Eternal portion of at Worlds 2023, which people may have heard of. I could tell that story. Should I tell that story?
I would love to hear that story.
Yeah? Okay, great. This is a great story. This is my favorite. This is the story of how Warlock and I became the most correctly arrogant Netrunner players of all time. We were going into a tournament with a
knowing
pretty
that you
high
were winning.
expectation that we were going to win 100% of our games, and we were right. Which, that doesn't always work out that way. But yeah, it's a good one. So I'm playing some Eternal online, right? I'm playing in the GLC Eternal League in 2023, enjoying playing with the old cards again. Somebody publishes, was it Warlock as well? Did Warlock also invent the infinite credits combo on the Corp side?
With Bloops and Amazon Industrial Zone or something, and just
no, it's Surat City Grid.
Oh, Surat City Grid, yeah.
Yeah, so where you res Bloops infinitely and use that to make a bunch of money.
Yeah, with Cybersand.
And that had been published recently, so I was playing that in my league game. And in JNet, as you may know, the credit counter only goes up to 4 digits, so you can't have more than 9,999. So I had that many credits because I did my credit total to the highest value. But my opponent was playing Haley and installed Tapworm at the end of my turn after I comboed off. And then Tapworm says, for people who don't know, at the start of your turn, you gain a credit for every 5 that the Corp has.
Oh my God.
So given that I had functionally infinite credits, the runner then had a quarter of infinite credits, which is also functionally infinite. And Tapworm goes away if you purge it, but by that point it was a little late. So we then had the weird game state of trying to play out a game where both players had infinite credits, which favors the runner, as you might imagine.
Probably.
And so despite comboing off and having infinite credits as Corp, I did not win that game. But it was very funny, and I posted in GLC afterwards, just a really fun game. Combined total of credits was X massive number. I think I maybe screenshotted the credits gain from the end of the game, put it in GLC. Next week, I queue into my Eternal League game against Warlock. And Warlock's playing Woo. And I think it was turn 3. I think amusingly he got the fastest possible combo against me. On turn 3, he demonstrates a loop that generates him infinite. which was thanks to a recent rules change. So let's see, I'll try and be quick on the technicalities of this because it's probably not that interesting for some listeners, but for the sickos like me, it's so they changed the rules when the Automata Initiative came out, so that when you swap a card from an out-of-play zone to an in-play zone, it's considered installing it, which wasn't true previously. And they do this basically to buffer Taya, because Tattoo Bolo is in the set, and they want, when you do a Tattoo Bolo swap, to also get an Ataya install. And also it's kind of a bit more intuitive that way. This has almost no implications for any other cards, bar one, which is the Deva programs. Deva programs, famously terrible cards. There's 3 of them as one in each run of faction. They are icebreakers that can only break ice with very specific conditions. So one of them, I think, for example, breaks ice with 3 or more subtypes. It's that kind of weird stuff. But they all have one ability on them, which is once you have them in play, they have an ability that says 2 credits, swap this card for another Deva in your hand. So the idea is you have these very specific icebreakers, but you only have to install one of them and you can hold the other 2. And then when you need to switch to one of those, you can. It's a neat design idea. In practice, it was terrible because they're too specific at breaking, so that you just couldn't. There were so many like relevant ice in the format that you just couldn't break with any of them. So it was like it was a non-starter of an idea, like a lot of FFG cards at that time. To print 20 cards a month, it was tough times for the FFG designers. But because of the rules change in 2023, swapping one of those cards into play now means you're installing a card. So more or less as soon as this happened, as I understand it, Koga and WoW Warlock, the great minds of Italian sicko netrunner, into the tank, into the lab as it were, and came back with the discovery that there are exactly 3 cards in the history of Netrun that have the text that functionally says when you install a program, gain a credit. And since the cost to swap on the Davis is 2, that means if you have all those 3 of those active, credit positive. And there's no restrictions on how many times you can use the ability. So if you have those 2 cards in play, plus a Deva, plus 1 in your hand, you can continue swapping them back and forth infinite and make an indefinite. Conveniently, one of those cards is a program, Scheherazade, the zero-cost demon. People may have seen on the Eternal Super League the week before last at time of airing, I think, when the most brutal self-growth program of all time, where Tauron got his Scheherazade with 11 programs hosted on it.
I think so, yeah.
Bounced the self-growth program, and they all went in the trash. So that's Scheherazade. Scheherazade and the Deva, and we were playing the Shaper Deva, Sergio Jata, in 3 copies. Both of those you can tutor with Cabernet Woo.
Yeah.
So 2 parts of your 4-part combo are tutorable with your ID. So you just need to draw the other 2, basically, and have, I think, 3 credits you needed to start the loop. And that was it. So it was like extraordinarily easy to do. Going back to my GLC Eternal League game, Wild Warlock did this against me on like turn 3. And I was like, hot damn, this was cool as hell. I would love to know more about this deck and work on it. Is it like an open secret? What are we talking about? And he said, oh, I assumed that you had also figured out the combo because of that thing you posted last week about both players having loads and loads of money. And it just turned out that he'd misinterpreted what had actually happened, which was my opponent had a tap woman play. And so he'd essentially showed me his secrets, assuming I already knew them. But he was like, sure, you can work on this. It'd be really fun. And then he says, it was posted in, where was it? Somewhere in Discord just the other day. Him and I have been dining out on this story for 2.5, but like whenever it comes up anywhere, anything related to it comes up anywhere, either Warlock or myself will go off on one because it's so good. It's so much fun. But yeah, so he, I like went to bed that night. During the night, I kept waking up and like having ideas about this deck, and I'd got a notepad by my bed and was scribbling on it in the dark. And then in the morning, like looked at this like writing with like all my notes written over each other and stuff, and a bunch of mad ideas to put in this deck. And I messaged, well, look, this deck is so sick. We've like cracked it. We had a good time iterating on it for a while. We were thinking about like, so the cards that I didn't mention in the combo are Technical Writer, which you install a program or hardware, I think. You put a credit on it, and then you can click to take all the credits off it. And in the GRU previously mentioned, which is people may know is currently standard, priority event in Shaper, it says whenever you install a card with cost 1 or greater, you can gain a credit or draw a card, which conveniently is also card draw. So it's kind of serendipitous in that there are only 3 cards in the game that reward us for doing this swap thing, but one of them is also you draw cards indefinitely. So once you've made infinite credits, you can then keep swapping, and essentially you lose a credit each time, but it doesn't matter because you have infinite, and you draw as many cards. So yeah, so basically in one paid ability window, you draw your whole deck after you Clinical Writer. And so I was like, okay, so the combo happens on like turn 4 consistently, sometimes turn 3 if you're like turn 5 like at latest, just put a bunch of card draw on your deck and it gives you indefinite credits and draws your whole deck. Surely there must be a way that we can just win on the same turn. And I was combing through the card pool trying to find like what ways, is there a way that we can like gain a bunch of clicks and like dig R&D a bunch? Is there a way that we can like turn those cards into somehow winning the game? The closest we got to finding a way to do this was Severnia Stim Implant.
Yeah.
Which is that in, is it in Red Sands, I think? Red Sands cycle, 2-cost Anarch Cybernetic. It says click, run HQ or R&D. When you breach, I think you have to, click. When you use it, you trash any number of cards from your grip. For every 2 you trash, you access an extra card when you breach HQ or R&D. So you draw your whole deck, you dump your whole hand, you run. Because we really needed the deck to be 45 cards to make the combo consistent, your hand was actually only going to be like 30 cards. So you're accessing like 15 to 16 cards out of R&D with this method. While not terrible, but when you win a lot of games, it won't guarantee you to win the game. And you've trashed your whole card deck at that point, so you can't do anything. So what we realized eventually was it's just better to build it as the like most obnoxious control deck of all time, which is ideally on the combo turn you've popped a hyperdriver, so you have 7 clicks, and you spend the combo takes like 3 clicks, and then you just install whatever you draw your whole deck and you install all the best tech cards of all time for whatever matchup you're playing, and then you discard down to 5 and pass the turn and wait for the corp to realize that they can never win the game. It's really fucking funny. But it was also kind of brutal. So that was where we got to with the deck. And then Worlds comes around, we get to play Eternal in like the biggest Eternal tournament of all time, because it's of the 3-pronged team event where each team had a player playing Eternal, a player playing Standard, and Startup. And this unfortunately means that Warlock and I can't be on the same team because we both want to play the deck, so we have to. And I end up actually the odd one out of EA Sports, where I was coordinating, or we weren't EA Sports yet actually, the whole group of Norwich and Cambridge mostly players who I was traveling with, and it broke down so that there were enough for them to all be on teams and there was one left over, and I said that's fine, I can be the leftover, because like anyone else do it, I was sort of coordinating it, and also it meant that I could keep my deck secret from them for even longer, because the whole time I was basically sitting on this thing just giggling to myself all the time like this is going to be so good. So I joined a team with a couple of other players who were like loose ends basically in the World's Discord, like looking for a team. And they came along, and then there was a UK player playing Startup and a French player who was playing Standard, but his Standard decks got stuck in luggage at the airport, so he was playing my Standard decks for the main event that weekend, having never seen them before. He did like really impressively well for decks he'd never played. Like I was playing Sable and PD, but like they were both kind of jank versions that he wasn't hugely experienced at the time, I don't think, so he did really well considering. But I didn't tell either of them what my deck was either, because they didn't know anything about Eternal. So I was like, oh yeah, it's a shaper deck, it's pretty. But I wanted to like maximize the surprise basically. So we start the tournament. We get paired into a team, and I see the team coming over, and it's Cranked, and I can't remember who the third person was, but one of the people is Andre himself, Andre Metapol Grid. Everyone knows him. And I was looking at this thinking, oh boy, this could be really good. And I said, which one of you lucky suckers is playing Eternal? And Andre looked at me right in the eye and said, that'd be me. And I thought to myself, God has smiled upon me this day. This is the perfect, how could I ask for a better way to debut my stupid busted combo deck that's definitely going to win than against literally the most famous man in Netrunner. So good. So we sit down and I combo off on turn 4, pass the turn, and Andre's playing very like seriously. Like as people may know, Andre doesn't really play a lot of like competitive Netrunner because he's so commentator goat.
Yeah.
He's obviously improves every Netrunner broadcast he's on like tenfold. He's
massively. Yeah.
So the team event at large events like Worlds is often his opportunity to play competitive. So he was like locked in. He was playing Ob, like a scoring Ob of his own design that was actually pretty cool, and he was like starting to do things, and then I comboed off on turn 4 with a pretty good draw. Passed the turn, and he like was like, okay, you've got a lot of credits, but you haven't done anything else. Took a turn, passed back to me, and then I used Marathon, which card you may remember, which is a run event that says run a remote server you haven't run this turn. If you're successful, get a click back, cost a credit, which means you have infinite credit, so you can just run and trash every remote server. So I did that, then passed back to him again, and he thought about it for a while. He said, I can never win the game, can I?
No, you can't.
And I said, yeah, no, sorry, I don't think you can. And so we played a couple more turns and then he conceded. Oh, maybe I. The other cards in the deck that I haven't mentioned are famously Worm was our breaker of choice because it's the only icebreaker ever printed that can break any ice, and it's only constrained by how many credits you have. It's really, really bad if you have anywhere less than infinite credits. But if you have infinite credits, it's just trivially breaks every ice in the game, bar like 2. And we also had Ngolo to like break those ones. So it was so you break every ice in the game, you trash everything with Marathon. If they're trying to kill you, you play Guru Defender, which lets you pay 4 to prevent damage, have infinite credits. We prevent all damage. We play like New Angeles City Hall, lets you pay 2 to avoid a tag. Lol, we have infinite credits. It's just like, it turns out there was a tech card for every problem you might face in that run.
Yeah.
It says, if you have infinite credits, this is no longer a problem. So it was very funny. And then we swapped sides and I played CobraBubbles, which was less of it was like a known deck in the format. It was very good at the time. I'd put Gaslight in it, which was a bit of a new innovation that Warlock and I really liked and made it that much more consistent. And I combo killed him on turn 4 with that deck also. He left feeling quite unhappy, I think, bless him. But I had a fucking great time. It was so good. And I went up to Warlock afterwards. And I was like, so do you win your games? He's like, yeah. I said, what turn do you come off on? He said, turn 4. I said, yeah, me too. He said, who do you play against? I said, fucking Andre, man. And he high-fived me and it was so good. So we both knew what was going to happen. And it did happen. Like the next week, he did his Worlds Recap stream and just fucking went off on one about it. And it was so good. And he famously called us some of the falcons of the format. Or more accurately, he said some of the falcons of the format, as if he was maybe going to say a different word that's over there. But ever the professional, restrained himself in time. Really, really good. And then, in my round 2, I played against Austin, the then president of NSG. And then at the end, in my last round, I played against Sengrin, head of OP. Like, I played against all the best people to show my deck off to, basically. So good. So yeah, that was like the best day in that I, and maybe anyone, has ever had. Just wiping the floor with folks, really, really good. I also, that weekend, was the only person to beat that deck because I had my GLC league game with the Naka Mushroom. On the Sunday of Worlds, she and I were hanging out, and I said, should we just play our Eternal League game? And she was like, oh, sure. Can I borrow the combo deck, actually, and try it? And I said, sure, you can, yeah. And then she didn't manage to combo off before I killed her with Ob. So I was also the only player to beat it in official competition. And then, perhaps unsurprisingly, it was nerfed. There was various testing of different like points configurations to make the deck worse. So people might know Eternal is balanced by points. But we weren't even really using all our points anyway. We were just using like half of them on just playing better tech cards. And so we just got to cut them for like slightly less good tech cards, but still good enough. Whatever you pointed, it didn't really matter. So it resulted in the addition of not 1, not 2, but 3 cards to the Eternal banned list, which is more cards on the runner side than were on there previously. And they are the 3 Deva programs, totally unplayable in every other context, which was just a cherry on the...
Having them on the ban list for anybody who is new to the format is so funny, like when they ask about it.
So credit to, I should be really clear that like lots and lots and lots of credit for this go to our Warlock and to Koga as well, who helped originally discover the combo. But yeah, in the execution and the theatre of it, I played my part and had a really fucking good time.
Infinite combo. Wow. Infinite credits. Crazy. I was going to say, anyone in the comment section below, please leave your Mount Rushmore for cards, your top 4 cards of all time.
Oh, engagement betting already? And I'm a professional.
I mean, all this talk about Andre being a professional, I have to step my game up, right? So, okay, I never got an answer to this. Are you in NSG?
Yeah, dog. I'm. If you've ever read an article on the NSG website, I probably edited it. I have been the lead editor for the website stuff at NSG since the end of 2024, I want to say. And before that, I was like on the editing team. So I joined NSG just as Midnight Sun was releasing. So yeah, about that was 22, right? So
yeah, 22 summer.
3.5 years ago.
Yeah, I think you are the person who has made me feel like closest to being in primary school again. Because sometimes I write articles on NSG and I do the drafts like all happy. Then I get like, you do the edits and it's every single line has been changed like for the grammar reasons. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I always say to people I edit, like, really don't worry about how much the amount of editorial ink that is on your thing says more about the editor than it does about you. But happy to give you that back to school moment. I guess it's good for us all at sometimes.
I mean, listen, Axel, you're just gonna claim ESL anyway. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, I will. Also,
Anytime I try to tell Axel anything, he's just like ESL. You're gonna make fun of the ESL guy. I'm like, oh, this is unreal.
that's the one.
He just
I'm
uses
also-
that
one thing I
card.
have.
I'm also now on the NSG steering committee. I got elected to the steering committee when that was elected for the first time last autumn. And yeah, so I'm doing a bunch of the higher level coordination stuff, which has been really fun. So yeah, I see a bit more of the like wider organization I used to. I feel really good about that. And not to like be too much of an NSG stooge on your impartial podcast. I feel really fucking good about where NSG. We're in a good spot.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna go in on that a bit more, be welcome. I mean, on this partial or
Partial podcast.
yeah.
Okay, you have been shitting on SBT like long enough, so it probably can be called partial at this point.
Listen, if you want to like give the people like reasons why, if you can share why you feel this way.
Yeah, unfortunately, as well as being on the steering committee, I am also like one of the key PR people for NSG, so you're not going to get me that easily.
Like it's funny because like that wasn't even an attempt. It's just you sound very joyous, and I'm just like, is there any follow up to that? Because it sounds good, and like I guess like we'll know why coming up, and whatnot, and maybe some things we won't. But I was just like, yeah, sure, anything you want to share, but like.
If you think about it, stuff's happening. Like the new set is coming out, which is pretty hype. I think everybody can agree to that. Cards are coming out pretty soon. Like we actually have a good printer now, which is like huge thumbs up. And like
yeah, that's a big change for sure.
Like larger
we
issues
posted
have
some
been
stuff
fixed.
about the print. Yeah, we posted some stuff about the printer, which is just like it makes a huge difference to the amount of money that what people spend on their Netrunner cards. The amount of that money we can put back into the game is really a lot more than it was when everything was going to make playing cards. Which, while like in many ways an excellent and like unique service, because of their uniqueness, they charge it higher. But that's really positive, and just like internal stuff, like it's kind of boring organizational stuff that I'm not excited about. I'm that kind of nerd, but just the way we like communicate across departments and coordinate stuff, it just like improved a lot in the past year. Even speaking of someone like before I was in leadership positions, that thing, I saw a lot of the problems on the inside of NSG from in the role I was in, where like I'm editing articles and those articles come from all sorts of teams, right? So like OP need to publish stuff about tournaments, the ban list team need to do their ban list updates, all the preview stuff has to be published, all this other stuff. And so I would talk to people in different parts of the organization all the time and realize that they were not having each other a lot of the time, and like things would get missed or tripped over, or like work with all this like just classic organizational inefficiency stuff. And a lot of that is getting, so that's what I'll say.
Very good. Very good. What would you say, like in Netrunner competitive season, like what was your best season? What was your best year?
Great question. Best in terms of like performance or like just how I felt?
You can give us both.
Okay, I will.
If they're different.
Yeah, they are. I think my best season for performance was 2023. Is that right? Maybe not. Maybe they're both 2024. I don't know. 2023 was the first time I cut at like a major event. Like in the CBI at the start of 2023, I came 17th. I missed the cut by 1. I bubbled playing Nanocivic Ag Infusion when in the Parhelion meta before the big ban list made standard normal again. That meta was insane. It was like we hit Woo, World Tree, R+, Drago, Nanocivic, Keeling were all legal. It was really something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was playing the Nanocivic deck with 2 copies of Tyr in it and just resolving Tyr subroutines on people, which was pretty messed up. Yeah, and I came 17th, finishing as the highest Jinteki player in that tournament. No Jintekis made the cut, but 17th was me playing Ag Infusion, 2 copies of Tyr in it, and 18th was Soccer playing Ag Infusion with 3 copies of Nightmare Archive in it, which tells you something about how absurd that meta was. But I felt pretty good about coming 1 place higher than the world champion, with a similar deck to his. That was pretty good. And then in the continental season that year, I cut a major tournament for the first time. EMEA, a soccer deck. This was the boat summer. No, that was the year before. So these were 2 different years. But I guess that CBI was the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, scratch all that. My answer is 2024 for both. for two reasons. 2024 was the year of EA Asmari, the combo Asmari deck, and most correct 40-card corp deck there has ever been, which I came fifth at EMEA. Multiple of my teammates also cut. Fun deck to build and play and like learn. I won a regional with it later that summer. Other people won tournaments with it from other teams, which was really gratifying. But then also in 2024, there were really like the stuff that really sticks out to me about that was you mentioned at the start that I judged 2024 Worlds, which is really fun. That was I came to Canada and the States for the first time. I spent a week in Vancouver staying with a friend and seeing my sister who was over there on exchange at the time. Met some of the netrunners there, Cinderin and some others, and then came down to California. Never been to the States before. Came to San Fran. Did some cool gay tourism. And normal, nice tourism also. Judged this event in the back rooms under the hotel. What was the hotel called? People have talked about how weird that hotel space was to be playing it. It was kind of like, but yeah, I judged all 3 days. Really got my chop. Like I'd done event organizing in the UK. I'd run a regional that year and some other stuff. And I felt like I was pretty good at it, but that tournament like really was really where I got my chops and like felt like I could really like do a good job of judging and also like helping out TOing. I helped out Jeff a bunch throughout the weekend and I felt really good about being able to do that basically, able to be reliable in that way. And then I remember really well when we were like Top Cut was happening, and then for reasons that at least you are very familiar with, Brandon, that Top Cut went a little faster than we were maybe expecting. One round maybe didn't happen that we were expecting to happen, and then another round basically didn't happen because famously, if you don't reside on R&D, you lose 9 points to 3 accesses. So it was like things happened really fast, and we were like, okay, some people are still on break, like we're a bit light on judges. And I went to Jeff and I was like, okay, Jeff, who's gonna like judge the final? How are we gonna do this? And Jeff said, oh, don't worry, I've got a plan for that. And I said, what's that then? And he said, we're gonna bring in the UK Dream Team. And so it was me and Jonold got assigned to be the table judges for the World's Final, which is like such a privilege, like so interesting to do, really, really fun. I don't know how much people know about like table judging. It's a really interesting like element because for the most part, a judge is just like there to arbitrate when the players realize or decide something is wrong. Other than that, like there are, in a tournament of like world size, there are maybe thousands of like rules mistakes or like other like play infractions that happen that nobody catches because neither of the players noticed at the time. You can never run like a rules perfect netrunner tournament of any size, basically. The judges are just there to like come over when something has been identified as being wrong and something like they need an answer. So like my opinion is that the rules framework and the judges are both there to like help everyone come to a consensus about what the fairest outcome is, not to actually necessarily make sure everything is done in a rules correct way because you can't, that's impossible to do, right? So, but when you get to a point where the tournament is small enough because enough players have been eliminated that you have enough judges that you have one per game, then at Worlds at least, general practice is you put one on each of those tables and they watch and they help catch all the mandatory triggers and like answer questions on the spot. If it's a streamed game, they help like make sure this game is represented properly for the stream. And that is like really, it's like a difficult thing to do because you're at the end of a long weekend usually, right? Like, I don't know, have you ever done table judging, Axu, like that?
I have, yeah. Last year's Worlds. Yeah. It's so difficult to do. Like, it's like you have to completely focus on the game, basically. Yeah. And like, while you're watching, it's super easy to think the players are making a mistake and then jump into there and like just like disturb them in a ways that are not good.
To be really like smart about like give it a beat, just check if this thing's actually been missed or if they're going to catch it. Like quite often things that someone seems to have missed just because they're like finishing a thought in their head, and then as soon as they finish thinking about that thing, they'll like click back into what they were doing before and like remember the thing that they've missed and fix it. Like to let a game flow naturally, much it's a real difficult skill. But yeah, me and Jonold got assigned to do this for the 2024 Worlds Final, which was D and Arizan, and it was an hour and a half Arizan versus PE game, like really technical. Like the threat of death was hanging over Arizan the whole time. Really, really interesting game to watch. And I was like, at the time, we just brought in the new rules about pace of play. So the rule about like you're not supposed to spend more than 90 seconds?
90 seconds, yeah.
On your turn if you can, or like if there's a particularly difficult decision, then we give more time. But like that's the kind of thing. So, and untimed finals, we were a bit more lenient. So it was less than that. But I was there with like a stopwatch basically on my phone. Like every time somebody passed priority, a particular decision was taking too long. And in that game, even though it lasted a long time, it felt like justifiable. And I never had to step in and ask either of the players to hurry up. But I got close. There was one point where I was like leaning forward about to ask somebody. But it was like really interesting. Just like after like 3 days of watching Netrunner from a distance, judging, dealing with the logistics stuff, just like actually locking in, being played at such a high level, and doing things like making sure you're paying enough attention to like track hand size and iron triggers and all this stuff. Make it nice for the stream. Really interesting, engaging. So I had a lot of fun. And then a month later, I'm rambling, but I have one more 2024 story, which is the UK Nationals 2024, which you were both in attendance of. Yeah, actually judged that one, a pleasure. And this tournament, yeah, I don't know how much you know about the backstory of this, but you will remember that we had a last minute venue change.
Yeah.
Which was, we'd been planning it for months. Like this was, it was before things got made into megacities and the way that formalized a bit more that they are now. UK Nationals was like a huge outlier in terms of national championships, but the UK like player density and play base count generally is like higher than most places. So we were expecting 120 odd people for the tournament. We ended up getting like 14 or 15 or something, but that made it the second largest tournament of the year after Worlds. It was bigger than EMEA. And we had a venue in Bristol in the southwest of England, which was like cool, like a kind of independent department store area with like a bookable space that Nikki 3.0, a local player, great friend of mine, was asking us to coordinate with them. That was all going really well. We got the venue locked in. We were doing all the marketing, get everything sorted out. Then it comes to November. The tournament starts on Friday. We're all going to Bristol on Thursday. On Tuesday, I work in a library, a university library. I'm walking around the library. My phone buzzes. I'm at work, but a lot of stuff going on this. And it's a message from, I can't remember who was it got the call, but one of the people on the organizing team. There were like 7 of us organizing that. Kikai, Dreadmore, myself, who else? Nikki. And one of them had basically got the call from the venue saying on Tuesday morning to find that their venue is drenched in water, part flooded, like unusable. They might be able to like deal with it before the weekend, but like they probably can't. So we're like pranging out, oh shit, like we've got over 100 people due to come to Bristol. Some of them are from like places far afield, like you do, book travel, all this stuff. Paid a lot of money to be there. This really sucks. And then not yet he got on the phone with the venue people, and they basically spelled it out to him and basically said, okay, look, our company also runs another venue in the city. What do you reckon? We can like send you the details. We'll give you that one. That one's usually more expensive, but we'll charge you the same rate because obviously this isn't your fault.
Yeah.
And you can use that one. And we were like, sure. And then they sent us the details, and it's a mansion. It's like a manor house just outside the central Bristol, up on a hill. Like it's got big sweeping vista of like grassland grounds going down from it. It's like it's a huge fucking manor house, and they're basically giving us the whole ground floor. And we were like, okay, well that's sick as hell, but like there's so many logistical problems that could come with this. So we had to spend like 3 days like manically trying to figure out all the problems. How are we going to get all the tables and chairs? What are we going to do for food and stuff? Because it's not near any shops for people's lunch. All this stuff, it was nuts. How are we going to can we set up a stream there? How are we going to do that? And somehow we managed to like solve all these problems in like 3 days and turn up in Bristol on Thursday night, shattered from having been doing this all week and still having to run a tournament. And then, Friday morning, get to the venue, get everything sorted out. Nikki was our tech person and did really incredible. The deal I'd had with Not Yeti that year was basically, that was the weekend of his birthday. So the plan was for him to do a larger chunk of the pre-organizing work, and then basically on the day for the rest of us to run it and for him to just get to play in the event as a birthday present. So he was doing that, but he was helping out a lot, obviously, because it was all hands to the pumps to make it happen. And I was the person on the microphone running the event. And Harmonby was head judge. Dreadmore was running HQ and being on the door stuff. Bar Ramwoo was running the stream. Nick was running. It was a whole thing, a whole production. Really like worked. It was like I was thinking about it recently because me and my partner have been watching The Bear. We're late to this. Well, I am. I think great show. I don't have to tell anyone that The Bear is a good TV show. But that thing of like being a chef and like doing that thing they call expo, where you're like calling all and coordinating all the dishes and like getting things out on time and all that stuff. Watching that really threw me back to that tournament, because that was kind of me. I was like coordinating between all the different staff and coordinating all the players and like trying to get them in the right place at the right time and keep everything running on time and all this stuff in a venue that we'd literally like locked in 48 hours before, didn't know very much about, like one member of staff on site to help us. And it was all like just manic, but it was so good. It's like after a couple of rounds had happened and it was like, okay, this is working, everything's fine. Like we actually get to have this netrunner happen was like such a relief and such a good feeling. And then as it was going, just got to have so much hit my stride with the like emceeing, which is something I really love doing. You tell by how much I'm yapping on. And yeah, it was a great time. I remember it very fondly. And then at the end of the day on Saturday, we come to the top 16, right? Last round, everybody's figuring out, okay, who's going to make the cut? Like a few people managed to ID in. But like we're not sure like exactly who's going to make the top 16. And the Wi-Fi, which had been good enough for us the whole day, couldn't bear the strain of like everybody checking the standings at the end of the tournament to find out who had won. So we had to like just tell everyone, put down your phones, stop refreshing this page. Eventually, one of the staff is going to be able to get it on their phone. And yeah, one of the staff did and brought the phone up to me on the stage. And so I was the only person who had the standings at the end of the tournament, which while Cobra is an excellent tool, it does mean that you don't get these moments as much in Modern Netrunner. Like back in the day when all the standings and everything was done on paper and on like specific inaccessible software, only the TO had the standing, which was a worse solution. But you do get moments of drama, which is really fun.
The modern tech is that you lock the tournament after the last round gets paired, so you can actually do that still.
Yeah, that is fun. Yeah, I don't think that feature was available at the time.
Yeah, I think it might have been later on, with Cobra being updated quite a bit after.
Yeah, shout outs to Plural and the web dev folks at NSG, by the way. They do the Lord's work. They do great
100%.
stuff with sorting out all the software to make things run. But anyway, it was just me. I had the list in front of me, and I'd had a plan to like do like wrestling style like little intro spiel bits about each player on the list. And I hadn't quite had time to like pre-write them all while I was waiting for the like final round to finish. And I looked down and I saw the 16th player. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't write one for this person. I was going to have to improvise one on the spot. But thankfully, their deck names do it for me. And I said, in 16th place, playing, what runner was it? What corp was it? It was playing Personal Evolution. And can you believe it? Quetzal. Because the UK's resident Quetzal player, Lifeline, had come in 16th. And everyone knew that nobody in the room was playing Quetzal apart from Lifeline. Like, Lifeline is the only player in the country who played the ID. So I didn't have to do a spiel. I just said Quetzal, and everyone went, whoo! The room erupted. It was really, really fun. And then I got to do up 15 through first, to give them all little spiels and make it a big, like, it was a really fun, engaging moment. I did it all again the next day to run the top 16. It was a lot. But, like, what a good time. Like, that's really, really memorable. Tournament for me, especially off the back of Worlds in San Francisco and getting to like go so well and have a lot of clip about it and really good stuff. There you go.
I think that was is definitely like the top 3 tournaments I have ever been at. Like the venue was outside of the like location, it was like hella nice. It blows every single venue in aesthetics away like completely. And I remember I had especially much fun with like the deck I was playing in the tournament, which was the like Infusion with Ododuo in it.
Yeah, that's come up on this podcast a few times, I think.
Yeah, just a really nice experience, and it's kind of wild to hear like how many problems there were, and like how wrong it could have been.
Yeah,
like there was like realistically there might be a chance where like tournament doesn't happen in that weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Like it was really like a lot of things had to go right. It felt like everything, which a lot of 2024. Yeah. So there we go. That's my answer, Brandon, to your question that you posed.
Nah, that was great. That was excellent. So, like, this year, like, is this year going to be your year? Is this the CobraBubbles breakout year? Or are you more judge-pilled?
Well, so 2025 was supposed to be the CobraBubbles breakout. Let's just, I after that event, I was like, okay, that's enough for me for now. I'll judge some small events, but like I want to play Netrunner again. I hadn't played in a competitive tournament since the regional I won in like August. So it was like from that until district starting, it was more than 6 months. So I'm just going to play, and it was the year with the big rotation coming, right? Whichever one was I. I wanted to like be like properly in testing and playing at that time. And then I just had a pretty bad district season. Infamously lost to Regenesis like in every tournament. I was playing Mulch. This is the deck you mentioned earlier, Brad. And I was playing the 45 card version of your Mulch from Cisco Worlds. Much improved, I have to say. like I played the New Year's Showdown and then 5 districts, I think. And in all those games, I lost 1 game against a corp that wasn't Jinteki, and I won 1 game again in that time. I just couldn't crack it. It wasn't the deck, like it was just I just couldn't. Between the like bacterial programming, punitive decks that were around at the time, Regenesis stuff, PE, like loud traps decks, I just couldn't. For whatever reason, I got in my own head every time and lost like every. And so I never made a cut at any of those tournaments, even though I won. Like my runner win rate against non-Jinteki IDs was like spectacularly high because that deck was so good. And then so districts, I didn't really get there. And then UK Nationals, I played Mags, and Infamous Not Yeti built the last deck, really good. And I still think it was pretty good, but like wasn't the thing for the tournament. But then at October Worlds, I played a Sable, Reg Sable, and in testing with a Sting ban. I came 22nd, so I got the top 3 for Worlds, which felt like a pretty good way to have some disappointing fun. So that was supposed to be the year of CobraBubbles. Now, I did start my 2026 season yesterday by top 4ing it, so that feels pretty good. So maybe better late than never.
No, so this may be the year. Yeah, everybody, be careful. Cobra's coming for your titles, your championships, your playmats, your alt arts, your bragging rights. All of that.
Yeah, it's all the bragging. This is all it's about. I love the play for glory exclusive. Like, alt arts are nice, playmats are nice. It's all the glory. That's all I care about.
So
speaking of,
yes,
I have beef. I actually have
beef.
You're right that I prepared some material for this podcast.
We like beef. Wait, hold on. Not Yeti wasn't lying. You actually prepared material.
That's how my brain works.
Not Yeti doesn't ever.
I thought Not Yeti was like, yeah, he prepared material about like takes and I'm like, no, Yeti, you prepared material to like counteract. And I'm like, I thought this was a whole scheme by Not Yeti. You actually prepared it. Wow.
You and I are very similar people in a lot of ways. Neither of us are like diagnosed with any particular neurodivergences, but I think we share a lot of the same habits that maybe point towards some similar stuff. I can't speak for him exactly, but you know. But one of the things I'd like to do is write things down in lists before I have conversations. And I have a list of beefs to raise if we can, if that's acceptable to you at this time.
This is the beef portion. Hit us.
Beef portion. My first beef is with Axu. That AU. Don't worry, there's more than one for you, so don't get too excited.
No.
Okay. That AU deck I mentioned from Worlds, the measured response AU deck, which was published on Netrunner TB under the excellent name No Country for Chopped Unks, which is an Ash and Alex Ashbury original. A great name, and Alex's excellent partner Rosie did us a version of the poster for No Country for Old Men, with FUT on it and a bunch of stuff. Really good, high quality deck list content. This is what you get from EA Sports. Anyway, you stole this name. You put it on your thumbnail for your episode like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, sick. They must have talked about my cool Jinteki deck that they really liked. That was so based. No, it was just Ice Cream College chat and whatever. No mention of my deck whatsoever. You just took the name and put it on the thumbnail. What's going on? Okay.
So I like calling Chris like an unk because he's hella old. And I just thought about the word and like what would be a funny thing to put there. And we probably thought about the same thing. There's zero stolen. Not anything stolen here. It's like...
Sure, it's one of those, is it?
Yeah. Like what comedians do when they steal other people's material.
It's a Vanilla Ice situation. We'll see how this holds up in court, actually. We'll see.
I can pay royalties on it if you want.
This is so funny because this is the first I'm hearing of this. Like, if you didn't say anything, I would have never known this happened. Axu, can you like not get us in fucking copyright?
I can pay royalties like every 1,000 views you can get like €1 or something.
Number 2, Ice Cream College is like a year older than Axu, which is also just hilarious.
Exactly.
With this hella old.
Yeah, he's definitely younger than me.
Yeah. You said earlier in the podcast before your time, and I'm like, I thought I might have been older than you, but maybe not.
You're definitely older than me, IRL. Sorry to say. I started playing card games when I was Game of Thrones event, the first Game of Thrones event that I mentioned that I went to and failed to win a playmat. I was 19 at the time.
Hmm?
So like this has just been my whole adult life basically.
I think probably
Right,
45
and-
at the time.
Yeah, I mean, JFK and all that. Definitely older. But what is your second beef?
My second beef is with you, Brandon.
Oh, thank
This is a
God.
classic beef. This is a classic North Americans misunderstanding Europe beef. London is in Europe. It is. Brexit doesn't change that. I grew up in London. I'm a proud Londoner. I'm not a proud Brit. I hate this country in many ways, but I am a proud Londoner. It's in Europe, dude. It's a European capital. It's one of the biggest. We're not in the European Union anymore, which is a political association, but we are in the geographical and in many
Tectonic
ways
plate
communitarian continent of Europe. Many, if not most Londoners would consider themselves Europeans. I proudly say.
I mean,
That's not
it's
dodging
debatable.
that, yeah.
It's debatable.
Debatable
I
how.
think I don't know because I'm trying to remember the context in which I said it.
It was me talking about public transport in Europe being good, probably.
Oh, lols.
Okay, he's
sure,
floundering, folks. Should we
it's-
move? We can move on to the next beef.
you-
I think this one sounds like it's settled.
You can have it. You can have it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll take it.
Point to
Okay,
bubbles.
speaking of London,
Mhm.
I had a really fun interaction with you, Brandon, when you came to Norwich last year, which, by the way, is still hilarious that you came to our little out of the way city on your tour of Europe. But we discovered together that I am from South London. I grew up in Peckham, 15. Represent.
Yes. And represent SD. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, listen, if you know, you know. And
Exactly.
I grew up around a lot of grime music, right? A lot of UK
Correct.
hip hop and grime.
Yes.
I'm not really in it. That's not exactly my genre these days. I don't know that much stuff. But I was thinking about it last week because Havra Fun was saying you should do a music segment on your Patreon, and Brandon was like, no way I can do that. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, you need to bring grime to the people, Brandon. How else will netrunners get to know about this excellent and important of very
Is that what Brian listens to?
Oh no, I didn't know that. I forgot that CobraBubbles let the cat out of the bag. Oh,
Sorry, Doug, but like, you don't need to be ashamed. You don't need to be ashamed about this.
What's
This is
it?
good stuff, man.
It's not that. It's that like. Oh, how much to get into this? Wow.
I'm just
listening,
glad
I'm
you're
listening.
not listening to like German marching music or something.
like that's what actually like now is just taking shots in the dark and he'll see if it'll stick. And it's just like crazy what he's accusing me of these days.
Bro, you're not saying shit. So it sounds bad.
Yeah, because like
No, I don't.
no, see, here's the thing, Cobra knows. See, the thing is grime is grimy, and it's just like Netrunner is it's just the opposite of grime. Cobra, you know what I mean?
Okay, I'm gonna read between the lines here, Brandon, and you shut me down if I'm wrong about this.
Go ahead.
Are we saying that Netrunner is too white for grime and hip hop? Is this what we're saying?
No, that's not actually what I'm getting at. Listen, I use the card on Andre and then put it back in my wallet. It's fine.
Okay, yeah.
That's not what we're doing. It's more just like the people in Netrunner are just so pure. Like it's grime is like
You're patronizing the people, man. They can listen to music.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
It's music. Like all sorts of music genres have all sorts of content in them. You know what I mean? It's like
I don't know. Cobra. We'll get on. Listen. I will.
okay. At least, how about this? At least you can DM me some hot stuff. Okay. I like I say, I'm out of touch. I haven't listened to grime properly since I was like 14 years old. Hook me up. That's what I'm saying.
I would love. Listen. I want to get this clear. I would love like grime to be the biggest thing ever. It's the best genre. Like easy. Like there's no. It's the best. Like. We'll have to talk about this off here because like I just have to give you some context, but like I'll just put it this way, like there's just been some headhunting going on lately and I'm just trying to, I'm trying to duck it, and
Okay.
yeah, and so I don't want, the accusations to be thrust upon me more than they already are. So I'm just keeping it low key. But grime, great genre. But I can't believe you said us patronizing this.
It sounds like it, yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
I was looking out for their best interest, okay?
It's a music genre.
Listen, just like what Not Yeti said, Not Yeti get at me because I said that finding partner who can cook for you is hot tech. But because I said like women not part, he went off, and I'm like, no, it's crazy right now.
Okay, I see. Brandon, you can't be too afraid of being cancelled. No one's going to cancel you. We love you.
They're
You're
gonna.
great.
Well,
No, I defend you on most. I mean, not on every. I'm sure there are things you could say that I would not defend, but most things, most things that Brandon, the Netrunner player, the king of our hearts, could say, I would back you. Okay.
It's very smart not to say a
blanket
blanket statement there.
Yeah, like I said, I do PR. Okay, I'm not stupid.
Well, I'm glad to know that I have your backing. That's very good to hear. But no, okay. I'll post the music, okay, in the Patreon, and we'll have the people decide.
I'm into it.
Next beef.
Next beef. Okay, we have an actual Netrunner beef.
Sick.
Madani sucks. Madani's bad.
Hell no.
You don't play it in Anarch. Don't play it in Shaper. You're wrong. Any deck that you think Madani is good in, you should be playing Lilypad. It's just bad.
No,
I've tried it a bunch. I tried it in Shaper and Anarch. It's not it, guys. It's just not it. It's just fundamentally like not a good thing to be doing in the game.
It's okay.
That's fine. Hey, that's fine. Like you can have the opinion, but like I also understand that EA Sports' opinion is that Bling's a bad card, but like
Bling and Madani are on different levels.
No. My thing is that like so something is wrong here, right? It's either the format is 2 startup plus that anything can just win any, or like the cards are better than you think. So like I don't know what it is, but that's kind of my thing. Is like
I think it's the first one, but that's not bad. Like anyone can win, and like any runner card can win worlds. This is my position.
Okay.
Like when we had a big standard a year and a half ago, Arizan, and I mean this genuinely taking nothing away from his win, they played Spree in that deck. And that card was like fine. I saw it do some things when I was judging their games in the cut, but not really very many. Like you could have cut that, and it seemed like to me it probably would have been fine. Similarly, the Bling in. I was at Worlds last year. I watched the 3 streamed cut games that Zomdraft played. And again, like full credit to Zomdraft for like winning in such a hard field with like a very technical and interesting. But like the Bling got installed in all those games, and there was one relevant Bling trigger in 3 games. Like, why are we going over deck size to play this card? Just cut it. It's okay. You're allowed to. This happened to me again yesterday. One of my opponents installed Bling. They got a trigger from it which they had to decline because they didn't want to accidentally put one of their steel skins on it in a AU game. It just like both Bling and Madani. It turns out it was interesting when I saw the elevation previews. Sorry, I'm in Vantage Point preview mode because I'm working on those a bunch at the moment. When I saw the elevation previews, I looked at Bling and I was like, oh yeah, this is the thing that Red does in Magic where you sort of draw cards but you don't really. They go away at the end of the turn. And I saw Madani and I was like, oh cool, okay, this is like the instant speed shaper stuff that we know but in a like slightly different way. That's kind of cool. I wonder how those will play out. And I tried them and I just like, it turns out that these are interesting things to do in card games in theory that are bad in Netrunner. You don't want to be like, put a card on Bling and then either you can't actually play that card this turn or you playing it is just strategically incorrect. It just encourages you to do something that is bad. You're like, oh, sick. I put my, Gachapon on here. I could get to install that Gachapon, put something else on here. Oh, the Gachapon put Strike Fund on there. I'll play the Strike Fund and make some money. Great. Pass the turn, look up at the corp. Oh shit, I should have made 2 runs that turn that I didn't make because I was too busy trying to get Bling value, and now I'm fucked. Like,
yeah,
that's just
I mean, Bling is ass. We can agree on that.
When it triggers, you get an actually good card.
Yeah.
At best, 70% of the time. Like. That is just not a good card, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it triggers
draw a card 70% of the time when you do a specific thing.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It also triggers 5 times a game only, and it's just not good.
My counter to that is that like I don't actually think that's the Bling card. I think that's just people playing incorrectly. I think that like you should always play Netrunner first and play your card second, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think just like you're talking about the hypnotism that happens. It's like I have to do this thing because I put this thing in my deck. It's like, no, you don't, right? But I think what Bling did for the virus decks is like the little edge that the virus decks needed. It's not necessarily like Bling's I guess good or bad card. It was just kind of like they needed the extra. I don't even know. It's not draw. It's not filter. It's just seeing more cards that Bling gave you to.
But
to move
Brandon,
it along.
they could have had 3 fewer cards in the deck. Then they would have seen those other cards more.
No. See, no, it's not true. Like there was a tournament you played at, and Dabs had the correct number of cards and the correct cards in the mulch deck, and you did not, and he placed higher than you. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh damn.
yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Any runner card can win. It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that the card is like abstractly good.
No. You said three fewer cards. I'm like, no. They this whole thing of like that it has to be 45 is just
Yeah,
also
but you're
incorrect.
like, no, I agree with that. Your mulch deck had 49 good cards in it, and I cut the 4 cards I didn't want to play and played 45, right? But like, they were 49 good cards, and the vampire is 48 good cards and 3 copies of Bling. And like, if it were me, and again, taking nothing away from Zobzeraft and from the other people who built that deck, and like they won on the biggest stage, right? They won the biggest tournament for 7 years or whatever. And like, I cannot take that away from them at all. I don't claim that I would be able to do anything like that, but I do think the deck is better if you just take 3 Bling abstract.
But you say 3 fewer cards, but they would have played a console. It's not 3 fewer.
Yeah, like
No, you don't need a console
card.
in that deck. That,
You do. You the
don't
hell
need
need
it.
the memory.
No. You really don't.
Yeah,
I
you
tried
need
it.
the
I tried
memory.
it without the console. You don't need the memory.
Of course you need the memory. Like,
You just need to just play smart. Just play smart. You have
smart.
Audrey, and then all your other programs are impermanent programs. They come and go.
CobraBubbles said we're not as smart. Okay, everybody, I want you to know this is.
Anyway,
Listen, if you're playing a console, you're aggregate that one.
If that deck was 43 good cards, I would say play 2 Kiko in it. You don't need to, like, you can get away with it. And those MU cards are a crutch. Is another.
No, that's.
beef.
Ooh, hot take. Let's go.
Like often yes, but you need a console.
Wait, actually, do
Like,
you have a
often
sound
you
effect
do.
for? Do you have a
What sound
sound
effect
effect
do
for
you
hot takes?
I have. Do I have any?
Anyway, we'll find one.
This take is cooling down while we wait for. Oh.
Do you have more beef?
No, we have to defend
okay.
Mandani first because that card is actually hype.
But Danny's
I
not
don't
hype.
think.
No, like
Here's what happens, right?
Mhm.
Ideally, you have Madani in play.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you click your Nuka, you draw 3 programs. Click, you put those 3 programs on Madani. Now you've saved yourself 2. Except that instead of spending those clicks, you've now introduced a situation where you can't install those cards more than 1 per turn. Maybe next turn you click Nuka again, draw 3 more programs. Now it's going to be another 3 turns, probably more, before you can actually install all those programs. Where you might want to, right? It's like the downside is real, and also it doesn't give you any memory, and it doesn't draw you cards.
apparently you don't need memory,
Those
like, and
things.
memory is a crutch or something. I heard.
You
Not
shouldn't
only
play
that,
new
but
cards
again,
just because. You should play them because your deck actually needs them. And the Shaper
well-
program deck obviously actually needs them. Lilypad is the best one.
So
Play
the
it.
another program that doesn't.
So
Sure.
here's the other thing. I think it's again another case of just like not like playing the cards because you have the cards and not playing Netrunner. If there's cards that you feel that don't belong on the Madani because you need to use them sooner, then you just don't put them on there. Like
Sure, but at that point I want to have Lilypad. Like
No.
if I'm not going to be maximizing that effect, I shouldn't be.
I'm just saying, putting a Fizzarm on Mandani is broken as hell, and no Shaper player can ever convince
You know
me
what?
otherwise.
You know what else can do that, Exu? Self-modifying code. We already have this card. And with Lilypad in play, it also draws you a card.
2 cost, 2 MU,
but-
something like that. Yeah.
You don't even have to draw the Fizzarum first.
yeah, but Ba told me that in Arizona, like we just don't be needing SMC. It's just Muse is the way.
I mean,
That's what I've been
Arizona,
told.
you're
Dude, I
probably
love
not
Muse.
playing
Muse is
Mandani
great.
also.
Muse is great. It's another reason to not play Madani.
I was thinking about playing Madani in
Loop?
in Anarch because I would like
Because
to.
you got destroyed by a deck on Jane at casual. You told this last week, sure.
I didn't get destroyed. I won, and and just because of like with cookbooks, just being able to like manipulate different things and whatnot, and like also hiding virus counters, things like that. It was an idea, and I liked the idea as like a multiplayer, just trying new things in the multi.
Yeah.
But like I think with the tools of Shaper and just being able to like if you how do I say this? The idea of Madani is like whether it is busted in like a particular format or whatever, it just depends on that particular format. But just being able to like thrust all the things that you'll need later onto this thing and then just bring them out at will, especially in Shaper, is just like wild. And
But we can already do this. We have cards that do that, and we don't have to draw the cards we need first. And we're cutting our best card draw card, either Ladypad or Anakam, to play Madani. Just like it crunches you on cards so bad.
So this is the thing, right? It's like that effect on top of that effect on top of that effect is just like anytime I was playing Madani before, let's see, like before, I was just going even in like some Alco formats, but like it was like they just stored their answers and then it was just like, yeah, I just have them. And it was more of the like I guess the install runner, but you didn't have to like install the stuff like unless when you wanted to. You could wait and then just be like, okay, I'm gonna get a discount all from DZMZs. Like I didn't have to use the clicks, right? Like some of this stuff is gonna come in clicklessly, all this stuff or whatever. And yeah, it was just I just didn't like the design, but like it's fine. Yeah.
I respect the design. Like I think it's an interesting thing to try and explore, and it's good that there's something in Gateway Elevation that lets you do like real Shaper bullshit, because they don't have SMC or Muse in those sets, right? The card is the way it's worked out. I think is like if you're trying to maximally win card, you should be playing. That's my position.
We'll see in a couple of years when we get a couple new sets in there.
But the thing is, the perfect thing about this is because I've also established that any runner card can win worlds. You can't ever prove me wrong.
That's like what I mean. I was gonna tell Axio, I'm like, he's like, we still have to defend Madani. I'm like, no, you don't understand. CobraBubbles has put us in a position where we can never really fully defend it because he already said that, yeah, anything can win worlds. He's never actually going to be wrong, you know? But I don't know. I guess what I'd say is that, yeah, like dolls were never really playable or supposed to be a thing, and they were never really good until they were, and then they were the best breaker, and then they got banned. So we'll see. Next beef.
There's another Axio beef, just a quick one.
No.
I am the RSS format strongest soldier. In that run, we were talking about DSS and SSS, but nobody's talking about RSS. Like, come on, what are we doing? This is the best way to listen to podcasts. I don't have to deal with YouTube. I can put it on in different podcast apps where I can skip ads and do all sorts of good based stuff. And last week, your RSS podcast, like 45 minutes of silence at the end. Like just discrimination against your RSS listener base. What are we doing?
Yeah, we don't support listening this on audio platforms. It's supposed to be listened on the YouTube, where you also have the very important video concept on the screen also.
That's right, the gimmick infringing, copyright stealing YouTube content.
Exactly.
Did you say we don't?
Okay, I mean, case closed. I just wanted to
have to win one of these
the RSS
beefs.
format.
You think I give him too much freedom, Cobra?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe
I'm not going to judge how you do things in your own house. You know, I'm just when it hurts me, I bring it to you. You know what I'm saying?
I'll try to make sure that
some of these things I don't even know they occur until people are like, "So what the hell was up with this?" I'm like, "What?"
I'll make sure that there's no longer 45 minutes of no audio on the audio platforms.
It's like the only thing is, I was getting to the end of the podcast, and they were like, you were doing like the thank yous and stuff, and I was like, oh man, there's 45 minutes left in this episode. They're about to like, Havrofun's going to say something whack, and they're going to go off on the craziest tangent. It's going to be peak King's Court content for another 45 minutes. That's just what I need on my Wednesday afternoon or whatever. And then it was dead. It was nothing. That was it. I was, you took it from the hope. It's the hope that kills you. Okay, my last beef. One more beef. Last beef.
Okay.
You're allowed to say cunt. It's okay. I authorize you as a Londoner. You can say cunt. It's fine.
Oh damn.
Yeah, but like you have to understand, like I just didn't, have our fun is like really young, didn't want their parents to get involved. It was, so I had to. There's a little parental, viewer discretion is advised, or listener discretion, so. Uh,
There's also video.
Sure. Viewer discretion is advised. All that good stuff.
Okay,
But
well,
like,
so long as we're
do you
clear.
believe that the Australian card should be taken? Not ever uttering that word.
Well, I can't speak to that. I
one?
come from the other place in the world where we say can't. I can't make
See,
claims
you've
about
already said it
Australia.
twice in this. Like, your UK card is safe, easy.
It's just it's a useful one. It has very specific applications in British, which I think.
I think everybody else should adopt
you
that
write
same.
10,000 words on that?
Listen, don't get me started. If you want my third, talk about card games is my favorite thing to talk about. My second favorite thing is myself. My third favorite thing, words. So let's not get me started on that. We've been going for plenty of time.
And Cobra, you're so awesome. Is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted to cover?
Just that Vantage Point previews are about to start, and that's
when did those specifically start, or can we get when?
On the
they start on
13th,
the
right?
13th. Yeah, which is Friday. Yeah, the Friday coming. This goes out
Friday
on
the
Wednesday,
13th.
Right? So
I can edit this out,
Friday
but
the
we
13th,
can we say that we got scoops or no?
Yeah, sure, you can. say
Yeah,
that.
okay, so there's going to be scoops also on the podcast. For a while, me and Brandon thought that we weren't getting any because the time was like ticking down a bit. And we were like
it's just
preparing,
us kids, though, so-
we were preparing ways to like avenge that aspect. But luckily we got scoops, so we don't have to burn any bridges.
Okay, so what you're saying is, even though you got the thing you wanted, you're threatening me anyway?
No,
No,
I'm just saying we would have done
no.
something very evil if we didn't get scoops.
Okay, so you're not threatening me, but you're saying that in the future, you're threatening to maybe threaten me in the future
Yes.
if things change at the next preview season. Okay.
No,
Exactly.
No,
we are threatening you.
no, Axu.
I am at least.
I said I can put this away and weaponize it later, but threatening is crazy. Okay, I'm not threatening. I was just gonna use it to fund my villain arc. Okay, that's all I was gonna do.
What's the
But
point
we
of
got
that?
scoops, and I'm back in line now. I just wanted NSG to notice.
Yeah, they're
been
good
working
ones, right?
I've been working hard. Okay, on scoops.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. All right. I'm now looking at my list to remember what we gave. That's for me to know.
Oh, yeah, about that.
About what?
Oh, well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, someone's ungrateful.
Whoa! What do you mean?
Okay, well, I'll just have to tune in. I'll just have to tune in whenever
You
it is.
will.
Was it
You will.
2 weeks or something?
I'm very
Find out.
grateful.
Something like that,
about
yeah.
Scoops, that we finally received scoops. That we finally,
I mean, this podcast has not. This is the first scoop season for the podcast, so I don't know about finally.
Finally, I said it. I got like. There's like a whole bunch of fuel still stored up from touch-ups that I just keep like, or I should say, wood that I continue to put over the fire, and I'll keep burning. Okay, like there's a lot stockpiled.
I'm with you.
Fine.
I'm a pro touch-ups gamer. I'm with you on that one. I'm famously an anti-unbans gamer. I think unbans suck, but I might make an exception for touch-ups. I might.
Wow. Okay. Oh, babe, listen, that's huge for CobraBubbles.
To be clear, I have no control over this.
No, of course. But like,
and
I'm glad you.
That would my personal opinion. I do like touch-ups. I think it's a fun and cool card, and I just again, it's the first edition Game of Thrones player in me where we were doing all sorts of bullshit that the designers never intended. I just like it when a card comes out and the designers go, oh, whoops, and I as a player at that point, that's when I rub my hands.
Correct. There you go. Yes. Like, I don't want the script to always be drawn out for me. Like, perfect. You get it. You have shout-outs.
Ooh, do I have shout-outs?
CobraBubbles about.
Do I?
Yeah.
What thing?
His relationship with a certain individual. You don't remember?
No, you have to like cue me before you put me on the spot for stuff like this.
I told you ahead of time that I was going to do this, and you were so hyped to do it, and now you forget
What?
See, this is why we only go off the cuff, because when we plan things, it's just like
No, you cannot plan things like unilaterally.
No, I talked to you about this. You were going to talk to him about his relationship with Diane, or lack thereof. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I see.
Oh, I was supposed to ask like if there's beef there or something like that.
It was like more than that. It's okay.
Was it?
It died. Yeah.
Sure.
He was so good. He was going to be so good.
Well, look, I can speak to it. I can speak to it. Maybe. I think. Let's say this. You and Not Yeti is a great friend and student of mine. I taught him the game. It's a bit of a Darth Vader situation. He's definitely better than me now, which is unfortunate. But a big fan of his, and we also like low-key beef with each other all the time. This is one of the uses of the word cunt in British English, by the way, is to say to your friends when you're beefing with them. It's really good for that. So we're the kind of friends that call each other a cunt, and that's a good way to be.
Very good. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Okay. Axio, anything you wanted to promote? You're still doing Eternal Goodness, yeah?
Eternal Goodness? I mean,
Goodness?
the Eternal Super League is. I'm doing commentary for that in 10 minutes. So.
10 minutes. All right.
Oh shit!
Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, CobraBubbles. This has been amazing for coming on, and I didn't have to do any work, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me and letting me unilaterally plan your podcast.
Right?
I really appreciate that.
God, it was amazing.
The best episodes.
I know, right? Like, this is the opposite of Bridgman having bathroom breaks, like in the middle of episodes. Just like Cobra's just going off. I'm like, I could have been like eating a 6-course meal. It'd been fine. It's perfect. Like, subscribe, leave your Mount Rushmore favorite cards, comments below, and we outie.
We outie.
We outie.
And on better Cyberdeck Sandbox.